Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a little different show for you guys today. Um, I normally talk about precious metals and holding the physical in your hand, that sort of thing. Been talking a bit lately about the mining companies, like First Majestic, and I keep looking at the junior miners and things like that. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about some of these alt metals, which led us to some ones I've never even talked about, even really read about, like cobalt, and even some stuff about lithium. And he said, "Oh, we got to check this company out. It's a friend of mine, and might even be able to, if you're interested in asking him any questions, they'll Skype with you." So we had a little conversation earlier today, and I said, "You know what? Maybe I should just put this on my YouTube channel and see where this goes because it's some interesting stuff." And it may be another way to kind of, I guess, diversify possibly, because I'm always been hard headed with gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, silver. That's it. But um, like any of these mining companies, when the price of precious metals goes up, so do the alt metals, copper and zinc and everything else. And this particular company caught my eye for a few reasons, which really made me want to reach out to them. The name of their company is Scientific Metals Corp. They have a few things in the works from what it looks like with regards to mining cobalt, lithium. I even saw one project on their website. I think they were on the Sarah River. Is that right, guys? With gold, a little bit of gold. Um, so, anyways, I want to talk to them a little bit about where they kind of come from, what their company's about, what do they, where do they see the world going with, what maybe the first question would be why cobalt? Where are we going with cobalt? But just so we're all we know who we're talking with, we got David and Wayne. Again, they're from Scientific Metals Corp. So, guys, what is the deal with cobalt and lithium, and why a lot of people are going with silver and gold and things like that. You guys are like cobalt and lithium is the two kind of main things, and I'm just curious about that. What's the deal with that?
Well, go ahead, David. Just tell me your perspective on it. You had a great one earlier.
Yeah, and just to give you a little idea here, Wayne Tisdale has literally he's been in every industry you can think of, from inception all the way to sale, and he's one of the foremost almost famous people in the industry, from creating a company from scratch and going all the way through to value creation. And he's a gold bug himself. He was probably most famous for Rainy River, which is a gold company that started at basically nothing and went to a high of $1.2 billion market cap. So if anyone is bullish on gold long term, it would be Wayne Tisdale. But one of the things that is the recipe for success with his team, and they've repeated over and over again in industry after industry, is to be able to see a trend before it happens. And they did it with gold, they did it with uranium, with oil and gas, with lithium, even more recently. And now we're seeing a new trend coming up with cobalt. And it's something that's very unique because the entire world is shifting from a fossil fuel generated power mechanism to power all of our lives. Not just the things that we use day to day, but how we transport from place to place in our houses. And that's shifting from fossil fuel to green, renewable energy. And it's one of these very unique things that's happened in the world where the entire population wants this shift to happen.
Yes.
It's positive for the planet. It's positive for us as consumers. It's something that helps everyone across the board. And everyone understands solar and wind as a power generation method. But one thing that most people don't understand is that we need a method to store that power.
That's been the problem.
Yeah, and that's been one of the big problems because this renewable energy is not consistent. The sun only shines during the day, wind only blows when the wind's blowing, and we need to be able to store that power to use throughout 24-hour cycles, 7 days a week. And the most common, most popular battery technology that exists right now is a lithium-ion battery. And it's a somewhat confusing name because lithium-ion sounds like it's just lithium, but one of the most predominant metals in the mix is cobalt, which makes up 35% of that battery mix. And so lithium companies have had a phenomenal run over the last year and a half to 2 years. And actually, Pure Energy, one of the companies that Wayne Tisdale founded himself, was one of the biggest, most influential lithium companies over the last 2 years. So he's a trend spotter. Lithium has done phenomenally well. And there's a massive void in the market now for cobalt companies to fill in what lithium companies have already achieved.
That's right.
And with Scientific Metals, they feel like they've got one of the preeminent properties in all of the world, specifically North America, for a cobalt property that has significant upside with very little downside risk. And that's why the timing's now. And it's not just about the right asset, it's about having the right team behind it to put that asset into play. So that's kind of a little history, a little background for you.
And that cobalt, the one in North America, is that in Idaho? Did I read that right earlier?
It's totally not. It's called Iron Creek. It's in Idaho. You know, I was sitting on my deck at I have a little place on an island outside of Vancouver because I'm Canadian by birth. And I was thinking, I was talking to a friend of mine, I said, let's talk about cobalt. And no one was actually talking about it. And I went, come on, let's go on a search. And we actually found, and with his help, one of the better cobalt properties around. And we worked it. And the gentleman that sold to me was 84 years old. What an amazing man he was. And he said, I'm tired of dealing with all these Canadian companies that never pay me. Can you give me a guaranteed income for the next 4 years? And I said, yes, I can. And we started it. And it is one of the best cobalt products. We're on 7 patented claims. We can work. We don't have to work for the forestry. We're not looking for permits. It's very, very impressive. And without leading it too far, I was going to back up on technology for you just for 1 minute. I started a company many, many years ago in the 90s, which was the first company that did GRSP, down the service of radio packs that allowed people to track vehicles. And I saw that with my partner. And I see this as the same thing. We have and today everybody tracks vehicles. I mean, it's not brand new. And I see this as one of the great, great ventures here. Cobalt is amazing. It's unfortunately, there's young children and young boys and young girls that are in these miners in the DRC. It is the way it is. It's the responsibility of the company that supplies your battery that they need to get that cleaned up.
And we were
what
talking.
we can do is deliver ethical cobalt in America.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about. We have 2 great, there's eCobalt. What a great company. We're right next door. We think we're as good or better. We have our market cap is so much less than they have. And we have an amazing project. And so if we can grow cobalt in America, then we can be ethical about what we're doing. And that warms my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the first thing I saw on your website was a kind of a YouTube video that was, front and center about the slave labor, I mean, the stuff, and I've covered a little bit of that on my channel for other reasons, not because of, mining and cobalt, but just the fact that there is, from the Chinese sweatshops to the child labor camps and doing stuff. I had no idea that these cobalt mines and things would have the same thing. So it's great to see a company that is recognizes that, says we're not going to do that, and not only that, it's an American company well, not necessarily an American company, but on American soil.
Well, it's an American mining project, and we do have American sub. I mean, we just happen to be Canadian only.
Yeah, and I see a lot of them up there.
We have, by the way, our geologist our senior vice president of exploration is one of the great just down home American guys that said we're going to get this shit out for the betterment of American people.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's a great technology. I mean, you look at every time a new iPhone comes out or something, everyone's all over it, or some new technology similar. That the iPad, the iPhone, all these little gadgets, they all use lithium-ion, battery. That's where the world's pretty much heading. So,
and 35% of that is got to be cobalt in order to hold the charge. So we're right on it. And there's not that many. There's a great cobalt belt in Idaho, and we're on it for one of the better ones.
Well, here's one thing I was thinking of earlier, and I thought, well, with Donald Trump and him talking about tariffs and all this type of stuff from these other countries, because he's saying, if we're not going to, with our dollar so strong or whatever, and Chinese devaluing this and that, we'll add tariffs and keep stuff in America. Well, if you think, I was just thinking about this earlier, if this cobalt mine is in America, and it is, and we're talking about these slave camps and stuff out in Africa and other countries, it may be prohibitive for them all of a sudden to say, you know what, it's costing too much money to even deal with that now that Donald Trump's changed some rules on us. We got to find other people. Well, sorry about your luck. Well, guess what? We've got a source from America now. There's not going to be any tariff on that. I mean,
no. It's something that needs to be. We've got a mind there.
Yeah, and the best example to summarize your point is Tesla. With Elon Musk, and you look at the exact same example you're giving, the entire world's current production of and supply of lithium and cobalt that goes into batteries primarily goes to consumer electronics. iPhones and laptops and whatnot, built by Apple, Microsoft, and etc. And that's who's already dealing with the problem of ethical cobalt and coming from places like the Congo and whatnot. But when you look a little bit, just a year or two down the road, you look at who's going to fuel the future growth in this whole industry. it's not just consumer electronics. That's a humongous industry, but we're all of a sudden going to be massively taken over by transportation, like
Yeah.
Tesla's electric vehicles, and also even further down the road, but even perhaps even bigger, is when our homes start shifting towards being able to be powered by green energy. And Tesla launched a Powerwall,
Yep.
which literally is just a massive battery.
Yep.
And the best example of summarizing this whole point is Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada. It's one of the biggest buildings in the entire world. I think it's the second biggest building, and all of it's supposed to do is produce lithium-ion batteries. And Elon Musk himself said that 1 gigafactory is going to double the entire world's demand for lithium and cobalt, just from 1 gigafactory, and Tesla plans on building 10 of those. So you think about, where is that supply going to come from in terms of lithium and cobalt? And to make it matter even worse for Elon Musk, but better for us, is Elon Musk took a $4 billion grant from the Nevada government. And part of the reason that he took that money was to make sure the supply of lithium and cobalt to fuel the batteries came from local sources in the USA.
Yep.
And he doesn't really have any solution to that. You look at any interview Musk has had, and it's there's only a tiny few companies that might be able to supply the potential increase in demand, but he's got to really lock down his demand for the future. And we feel like our homegrown cobalt property is going to be a really good candidate for that future supply.
So he could use that, even though so this isn't just an Arizona thing. It's as long as it's within the United States, he can.
Oh yeah.
He's in Nevada, and he's got the biggest plant ever. And we have there's a super belt in the cobalt that we have attracted a very, very large possibility of having a great mine, and we have a great partner next to us, eCobalt. I'm not going to deny them at all. They're one of the best, and we are right next to them. And I think between the two of us, we've got America Cobalt tied up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's it. I started Pure Energy, with those guys when they first were coming to lithium, and they came to my office. I went, my God, you've got an idea, and it was such an amazing story. We were talking about today. In fact, the broker that helped me put it together was at my house here in Cabo. And we just remembered how we put the pieces together and how that became the #1 leader in lithium. And it started this whole rush. It's an amazing story. It was all done by helping people become better, and I'm a great believer that you've got to help people become winners, and we got to do things with integrity and help them become better. And what are we delivering to the planet so we can have a better place to live?
Yeah, and again, I'll say to my subscribers, I didn't realize the company's in Canada, but it's our neighbor. Yeah, I've got quite a few.
Yeah, we're good neighbors.
Yeah, we are. Neighbors. I've got quite a few Canadian subscribers. I chat with them all the time, and the fact that this is on our country, in our country,
it's so good.
Companies up there, and it seems like for whatever reason, I don't know why, there's a lot of mining companies that are out of Canada, and they do well.
Well, the reason is that we have a little bit more venture capital, a little more risk than you do, and then therefore we got into your system. I love the border at Canada, at Peace Arch, of a common mother. We are Americans and Canadians are a common mother. We all came from the same damn place. So I think it's a great possibility. And you've got a couple great cobalt mines in your country, and we just happen to have one. Yeah.
So this is. I mean, it almost sounds like, even though lithium's been out for a while, that's, like you said, it's absolutely the future. I mean, the Tesla cars, what is the Leaf, the Nissan Leaf? I think it uses also lithium. So it's just the more we get towards electric cars and vehicles and transport, it just seems like a win-win situation to me when it comes to lithium.
Your greatest shortage of any product in this industry of going green is cobalt. It will be the most demanded product. It's mined. I know we talk about the DRC being mined with all the artisan miners, and these kids have to make a living, and it's okay. Yeah. It's tough to watch. I traveled Africa. I've had a great time there, and it's hard to watch. What I like about this and our projects in America is that it's homegrown for your use.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, you don't have to truck that or ship it across the country or the world. And
how we get through the Frank Dodd or anything like that. We have to do all that shit. It's right here, and Donald Trump is right here. So let's get on with it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like you say, he wants to try and make America great again. Like I say, I wish him luck. I want him to succeed. I don't care who the president is. If it wasn't him, I want them to succeed so we can all succeed. But this is clearly where the future's
heading. I loved the rally
heading.
today in Louisville. It was great.
Oh yeah. They usually
Yeah,
are.
but
They usually go quite well. You know, you'll hear a lot of junk in the media about it, but you know,
No,
his numbers don't lie for the most part. You know, so so anyway, so your company is against Scientific.
Metals Inc. STM, and on the U.S. it's
Scientific Metals Corp on the venture as well, and in OTC. And it's the right timing, market cap wise, for us to really have a big influx of new attention. And just to put things into perspective, when you're looking at the trends that followed in the lithium space, when they started Pure Energy about a year and a half ago, the price for lithium was around $6,000 per ton, and has since increased almost 200% over the course of the last year and a half. And that's what's fueled almost an entire industry explosion because of the increase in the price for the commodity. And right now, cobalt has only seen about a 10 to 15% increase in the last 3 months. So we can see the same signals for that cobalt about to break out in the same way that lithium just did. And there's been probably 100 companies that have been created because of the lithium price increase. And Pure Energy and what Wayne created was the first mover in the whole entire industry. So this is the perfect timing for all investors who are looking to profit off of an increase in an industry's appreciation in the commodity. Now is the absolute best time to get into it because we have everything else pushing the sales for us. The entire lithium industry has already paved the way, and cobalt just needs to come in behind it and scoop up what's already been created from people like Wayne and the entire industry's work already. So this seems like it's going to be the right play. And if you look for guys like Wayne have created, the ability to consolidate an industry. And once we see the trend moving for cobalt, Wayne's group has had a phenomenal track record in gobbling up other prospective large-scale companies and projects. So as soon as we do see this trickle upwards, like in the lithium space, it wouldn't be too surprising to see them acquire growth very quickly.
Yep.
And the whole point and the name of the game for these guys is to create phenomenal shareholder value, over the course of a very short period of time. And when you catch these trends at the right time, it means significant potential reward for investors who catch that wave alongside of the investing management team. So this happens to be one of those key moments in the history of this industry and for all of us as shareholders. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at a chart just from today, by the way, of your company, Scientific Metals Corp, and it was up 7% just today. Before we even chatted.
Yeah.
So I was like, I saw that, and I was like, I want to talk to these guys.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just the beginning. We're trying to keep things hush-hush, but we can't really keep it back. It's time for everyone to understand what's going on. Until we acquire the goods and lock down the property, and now the company's done that.
Yeah.
So it's been de-risked. That's in the entire world when it comes to cobalt.
Well, in definitely in America, we have one of the better products, and we have such a. I've become very lucky in my life. I've been able to identify great teams, and we have a great team on this one, and I'm excited about where we're going to go.
Well, great. I want to thank you both for being on. If anyone is interested to check more about this company out, it's scientificmetalscorp.com, and again, that's Scientific Metals Corp. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a one-off for me to have some guys like you on, but I read kind of your mission statement. I saw the things about the child labor stuff. You're trying to get that, let's keep it in America and of course our neighbors in Canada. Work together.
We're American with you,
Yeah.
Live in North America. We just have a little border there. That's all.
So so I figured this would be a good little change up on my normal program that I do on YouTube. So again, I got David and Wayne, Scientific Metals. That's scientificmetalscorp.com. If anyone wants to check them out, possibly invest, that's where one way they can find you and read a little bit more about you and maybe get involved.
Absolutely.
So
we appreciate the time. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. Take care.